very good friend of David Cassidy's and mine, Eugene O'Sullivan, who's in Nutgrove Avenue, and I hope he's watching, and I hope he enjoys this game. So it's the men's over 40.
If the serve is down, I'll call it down. Otherwise, just keep playing on because you're not going to get that, okay? Right.
Okay, the referee is establishing control before he starts. Anthony serving the ball. There was a slight contact with the racket. And David was very happy to get a net on it. Oh, that ball just stuck to the wall. So David has first blood.
And 1-0.
1-0 to David. That's a good shot from David. Well done. He set it up very nicely. 2-0.
Yeah.
David just checking which side he was serving from. Which probably seems unimportant, but if in your head you think you're not sure which side to serve, it can distract your thinking process. So it's better to check and just give yourself time to gather. That ball just didn't come out enough off the back wall, and David wasn't able to get an angle to play a post, which is drive the ball off the side wall up to the front wall. Oh, Anthony, that was a cheap point to give away. 3-1 for David. David plays out of Mount Pleasant in Dublin. He wasn't looking forward to being on air TV today. He won't be happy with that shot either. David shouldn't have accepted that serve. It was done very quickly. But Anthony didn't cover that very well. On the Friday night, because of the seeded tournament, particularly with, in this case, 16 players being seeded, some of the matches aren't as close as they will get later on in the tournament, because the higher seeds would usually be able to fairly well dominate the lower seeds. But this match is actually between the number 8 seed, David Cassidy, and Anthony at number 9 seed. So technically, in the seeding for this, they would be very evenly matched. So we're likely to get a very close game.
6-2, right?
6-2. The game before this, Neil Murphy, was just too good for another player from the Dunhill club. Although David's fairly well dominating this, he's playing a much better length game, and Anthony isn't retrieving from the back of the court deep enough. He's giving David control of the centre. David's very mobile. David loves this out of...
I think it was okay.
Yeah, both players were a little bit confused about that ball that was high up on the left-hand wall. Whether stayed in or whether it touched the wall above it. I actually think it may well have stayed in. Anyway, on the next shot, it was sensible to play a let, so both of them could refocus, because neither of them were sure if the ball was good or not. Although normally speaking, if the referee feels it's out, he'll call it out, and if he doesn't call it, there should just play on. That was inevitable because Anthony just got stuck behind David. I wasn't able to dig himself out, to give himself room to chase the ball. Played a weak return and then left the next one wide open to be put away. Shot. Oh, the ball was above the red line, so it was out. 3-8. David had plenty of time to think about that, and he realised that Anthony was running to cover a long drive, so instead of which he just played a short drop. Not necessarily a very good drop, but it didn't need to be once Anthony was gone the wrong way. That's another easy drop because the ball was sitting up. Gave him loads of time. That's a very nice shot from David. It's probably a more facile win than I was expecting in the first game, but some players take a while to settle. So we wait and see. D.Cassidy is a very all-action player. He actually enjoys long rallies and moving the ball up and down and running around. Sort of player I'd hate to play because I like to cut rallies to the minimum, save energy for the next point. My problem is even when it's on the last point of the game, I'm still trying to save energy, which is a bit pointless, as if you lose it, you've nowhere to use your energy anymore. Anyway, the lads have taken their 90 seconds of a break. Bit of toweling down, get a bit of water into them. It's important to hydrate because of the exertions in squash. Anthony's just driving a few balls to get a bit of feel back to himself. He probably needs to up the pace on the game. They're all set. David, did 1 game to love all. It's a very good hard drive, but again, Anthony played a little bit too short. The ball bounced almost in mid-court, so David had plenty of options on what to do with the ball. It's a better length. It nicked. A bit fortunate, and he apologises for it. But he accepts it gracefully. David, meantime, just tying up his laces. Important to have them feeling comfortable to give you a good grip on the floor. David went for the easy shot, which I'd probably be going for myself, but he missed it. Probably like I would have done. That's very well picked up by David. Very nice deception. David thought he was going down the forehand side and said he went back, stayed on the backhand. Oh. That was just a half chance that Anthony snatched that and missed. 4-1 lead would have been very useful. Instead of which it's 2-3. That was a nice rally. David did very well to stay in it, actually. 3 all. It's a costly mistake and too easy a point to give away at this stage. 4-3. David gets down very nice and low to those shots. That's a great shot. Very well retrieved by David. Well, slightly nicked. It just didn't bounce as much as David had anticipated, so he was overstretching for it. Yes. I have expected the referee, Declan McDevitt, not to give that because he doesn't like giving those. But in fairness, David would have been able to get to the ball. Oh, that's a bad mistake.
5-4.
That's a very good length. By good length, really, we mean that the ball is driven, bounces, and just comes off the back wall and dies. So it doesn't come out enough to allow the player to play a shot from it. And if you get a player out of position and you play that good length, it's very hard for them to counteract it. Now Anthony's gone into a 7-4 lead. He suddenly opened a big gap. Oh, that's a lovely setup by David, and then a very quick winner. 5-7. I think those points went away very quickly, and David maybe just needs to focus a little. Oh, again, a lovely deceptive backhand.
8-5.
8-5, and David fell for it. That was a very easy point to give away. David's attempted drop was far too high altogether. And all it did was it allowed Anthony to move on to it and take whatever shot he wanted. It's good leg.
10-5. Game ball.
Anthony has certainly come back very well in this game. He uses much more wrist in his shots than David does. David's a much more orthodox squash player. And if you notice that Anthony taking the ball from the backhand very often plays it cross court. David likes that short into the backhand, and then Anthony raises it up and David's able to play a solid winner off it. But he's still 6-10 down for 1 all. Anthony needs one more point. Oh, that was an easy ball to put away that David missed. Game on. What looked like a relatively comfortable game for David went away on him very quickly. He throws the ball back into court and goes off to gather himself. As I'll do before we resume with 1 game all.
Go. One game close. No more. Go. And one out. And one off.
I'm back again. Sorry, I was talking to Sam Alwell, who's playing in the Irish National, the senior tournament that's on at the moment. A lovely player. Telling me he's still working in Nace. And working hard on his squash and his social life, but not necessarily in that order. A lovely squash player, and I hope that we're able to see him on the glass backcourt at some stage over the weekend, because I always enjoy his matches. I think David thought he might have got a stroke for that. Anthony's leading 2-1. Ah, that's a lovely kill from Anthony. David was unlucky. He just thought the ball was going to come down soft, but it came deeper, and he was forced to play a retrieving shot. Sorry. It's a very nice shot from David. Tight to the ball. Anthony wasn't able to dig it out. Actually, it's interesting. There seems to have been a sea change in the confidence. Anthony's playing with much more confidence, and David isn't quite sure how to get past him. David recognises he missed a chance there. He didn't play it deep enough. So he has a chance to regain the ground. That was a soft point, really. Played a boast that really wasn't sensible, and it wasn't even an aggressive boast. It was just a flappy boast that David would have got to quite comfortably. 3-0. Anthony's playing much better length now than he was earlier, because you notice how often David is having to play from the back wall off the side wall up in the air, just a containing boast. Many times have we seen Anthony lift the ball onto David's forehand with half the court there for David to just bang the ball into. 4-all. Pretty tight game now. What I think is actually happening is that David's a little bit unsure about where Anthony's putting the ball because he's using so much wrist. That's a good call from the referee. Anthony thought he was going to get a stroke, but I actually didn't think he had the racket up in time to play it. So that was, in my view, a very, very good call. Yes, David. Basically, that was a safety shot. The danger if David played it straight, it would have been up against Anthony. And in that case, you call it out and the referee gives it. So Oh, that's a lovely shot from Anthony.
And 5-4.
5-4. A very tight game. That's a very nice shot from David. He created that space for himself very well. Anthony is both winning and losing, I think, with the same shot. He's playing from the backhand. He's playing a cross backhand drive using his wrist. He's breaking his wrist very late in the shot to play it like he did there. And when David is able to read it and get onto it quickly, it then slightly opens the court for David and gives him the advantage in the jousting for position. 6-5. And yet, because David isn't sure, he's almost expecting the cross court. A few times he's been caught out when Anthony has driven it straight. So like a lot of things in life, the good things can often turn out to be the bad things at other times. That's a lovely play from David. Super length. Although I thought David probably could have got to it early before it came off the back wall. That's a lovely shot from David. His first one with great depth to it. Created, dug the ball into the corner and then played a super drive. 7-6.
7-6.
And
7-6.
An interesting battle. It's very hard to predict who'll win it. Who'll win this game even, not to mind the match. 7-6. Oh, that was a miss hit from David.
8-6.
For 8-6. And in fairness to him, he's apologised to Anthony. 8-6. Again. That's interesting. David holds his racket up and asks permission to leave the court. His strings are gone. He broke the strings. The referee agreed and has allowed him to. They've hit the ball out of court in their enthusiasm to rewarm it, and there's nobody down at the bottom. The ball very kindly
8-6 on the left.
Drifted itself.
No, 8-6 at the left. On the left, 8-6. You ask for a left, you're between him and the ball. 8-6.
David saying, why is it a let? I think actually David looked to be a little bit lucky to. I mean, a let was the correct decision, but could so easily have been a stroke against David because he played the ball very much in the centre of the court, back against himself. That's a nice length. It's a lovely length from David. Beautiful shot.
9-6.
Most players, when they've changed the racket like that, if the string goes, they want to hit the ball a few times to get the feel of the racket on the ball. But David didn't. He just argued about whether he got a point or not. We all have our priorities different. That's a nice width.
7-9.
7-9. I'd be saying to David not to be letting too many of them come off down to the back wall because he's letting a lot of balls come off the back wall that are dying. And even when he's playing them, he's playing a boast that actually gives control of the rally to Anthony. Oh, that was close to run out. I thought it was going to go out, but it didn't. Another one.
I know.
But he let come off the back wall and missed it. 9-0. So David's just walking around, put his hand on the ball, just slowing things down a little bit to gather himself.
Next. 9-all.
9-all. Quite tense. You can feel it in both players. They realise how important this next point is. That's a lovely recovery. Oh, I would have thought that was a relatively poor shot from Anthony. It set it up to be attacked. David attacked it, but he put it into the tin. Ah, that's a lovely kill. Well played, Anthony. Superb.
Anthony, 2 games to 1 point.
Anthony leads 2 games to 1. And David's going away to think about it. Because in a sense he was cruising in the first game. And the game began to go away from him. Michael Conroy going down to have a word with David. David nodding. Be interesting to see if David changes his tactic. Were I giving him advice, I'd be telling him to try and take a number of balls earlier. Take Anthony's time away and play them quicker, because as you let the ball come off the back wall, particularly balls that aren't coming off very much, you're forcing yourself into playing a high post, which effectively gives control of the court to your opponent. And when Anthony has control, like in the last shot, he played an absolutely superb winner.
Anthony leads 2 games to 1.
So, 2 games to 1. Anthony serving. Love all. That's a nice drop. Again, David hasn't dropped very much, so it was good to throw in a drop. Makes Anthony think and not hang back in the back of the court. Force him to move up to cover the eventuality of a drop. Like he did there. David got that one. Oh. Anthony did very well to recover from that position. Down.
And out. 1-all.
1-all.
It's okay. I know it's okay. And out. 1-all. I thought it was perfectly good. It's not nothing wrong with it. Did you hear him say it's down? You want to play that then? It's not that. It's down. He just said it's down. Play that.
That's interesting. The referee thought the ball was up.
The one up today on the right.
And both players actually said it was down. In that situation, I would normally go with the players, because the players are the ones who have to feel comfortable about it. But the referee, because he's convinced the ball was up, has said, well, okay, we'll play a let on it. Neither players, well, obviously Anthony's the happier of the 2 players because he's gained from the situation. That's a very good play by Anthony. 2-1. David is still a little bit aggrieved over the loss of the point. In fact, my view is the ball was definitely down and the players were correct. But it's a matter of just different interpretation. Personally, I'd never, as a referee, if the 2 players say something is the case, then I would always accept that. Anthony suddenly 2-1.
Go. And out. 2-all.
That's a fairly basic stroke there. Anthony was moving into David's line of strike. That's a very good shot from David, very well played. Keep it tight to the wall. Yeah. David created that opportunity very nicely and then played a nice drop
3-2.
to put it away. 3-2. Well picked out by Anthony. It was a nice post to play because David was in the back of the court and he had to cover a drive. See, David's letting that ball. He needs to be standing up a little bit further and attacking it. He's just hanging back a little bit. It's a nice hard rally. Ah, very nice, David. Well played.
And that, 4-all.
And David's going walkabout a little bit. In that situation, very often when you win a point like that, it's advantageous to press on, particularly after a hard rally. And someone like David, who's eminently fit, has just given Anthony a little bit of time to recover, which probably wasn't the most advisable thing to do.
5-4.
Maybe he's struggling a little bit for breath himself. 5-4. Very good shot. Very good play, David. Well done. Someone behind me appreciated it. I personally would have been dropping that, not driving it, but he drove it beautifully. And then I drop every bloody thing, unfortunately. Oh, that was a point that was very easily given away by a poor drop by Anthony, but it was probably a poor choice of shot. It opened the court for David to step into and play a winner on 7-4. There's a little bit of daylight between them now. Yeah, David very kindly called that down. Sometimes the ball slides off the racket and hits the floor and bounces up awkwardly. That's what David felt to happen there. I'm not certain it did actually, but David felt it and he called it against himself. Anthony there stepped in and played a very nice post off a short ball from David. Should have played it much deeper. That's deeper. Three very good attacking shots from David. This is certainly a very punishing rally. Oh, David, he was onto it. He just didn't get the racket through the ball. 7-all from the right.
Right. 7
So
all.
it's very tight. David just checking that it's right, getting his heads together. Bouncing on his feet. Oh, well reached. Lovely drive from Anthony. Beautiful backhand. When he drives those straight backhands, they're really very accurate. 8-7. So the last 4 points have been Anthony's. Very nice, David. 8-all. I have a feeling, my feeling is that Anthony is struggling a little bit for fitness, which wouldn't augur well in the 5th game. But sometimes that can be deceptive.
No net.
The referee is absolutely right. No let.
9-8.
That was a very good stroke by Anthony, and David had left it short and played himself out of position. He tried to cover. He didn't cover it enough.
Go.
Yes.
Hand out.
Anthony's annoyed, but I don't think he's annoyed with the referee. He's more annoyed with himself. So it's 9-all. And David is just gathering himself, slowing it down a little bit, giving himself space. Walking in that familiar shuffle of his. 9-all. Very nice, David. High risk shot, but well played. Well played. He knew Anthony was stuck behind him. He had time, so if he played it up, he was unlikely to get to it. 10-9 for 2 games all. David's playing everything good length. Now, not giving a chance for Anthony to attack him. Brilliant point. Absolutely superb quality scores. Nip and tuck, playing good lane depth from David consistently till the opportunity arose. Then he pulled Anthony in, took him across, and he just dug it out and played a super length for 2-all. My money would probably be on David now in the last game. But as my wife frequently says, I'm known to be wrong. I look forward to the last one, to the 5th game. I'll rejoin you in about 53 seconds from now.
Sure. 2 games all. They're all.
So 2 games all to play for. Oh, that's a good length. Again, David was tempted to take it early, and because he didn't, he sort of played himself out of position. 1-love. First blood to Anthony. David's getting very good height on those floats. Oh, he was there. He just approached it gently. He should have attacked it and driven it, though it was very tight to the wall, so maybe I'm being unfair to him. 2-love. Oh, well played, Anthony. A lovely backhand drive. He sort of mixes the orthodox stroke with a wrist turn. 3-love. Substantial lead in the final game. Oh, David, that was a bad mistake. His head came up, I think. He was looking where it was going at before he hit it. 4-love.
And 1-4.
That was a soft point to give David, but he needed it badly to get back into it. If he gets the next one, he'll begin to feel he's in with a much better chance.
Next match, 1-4.
Again, I think it was the right call because Anthony's racket could be on the ball, but he wasn't able to strike it. He could only just push it. I think probably a function of the way because he's such a wristy player, I'm inclined not to raise the racket. Ah, that's super play from David Cassidy. Absolutely super, lovely length. And then taking the ball early and playing a post. 2-4. Oh, that's lovely, David. Well played.
3-4.
Super drop. And in fairness, Anthony acknowledged by saying shot, which is a very nice way to compliment your opponent and doing something with a high level of skill. Always nice to see that even in a tight game when so much at stake, people are complimenting each other. 3-4.
Sorry, what's the problem there?
David very kindly called the ball down.
Sorry? 5-3.
Called the ball down against himself. I actually thought it was good. It's interesting. The referee thought it was good as well. But that's sportsmanship. Oh, very good post from Anthony. Well played. David was very aggressive on those, but I just think he probably should have been playing one or two of them tighter to the ball. He played a lot of cross balls that Anthony was able to pick up on.
That's last. Yeah, we should pick. We push you on the way in. 6-3.
David's point is that Anthony looked for a net by brushing against David, and he made it look like a net, is what David said. I actually have a lot of sympathy for him because I think he was way in control of the rally. And I'm not saying there wasn't some contact, but in fairness, the real advantage in the rally was with David, and he lost out because of that. Oh, David, you shouldn't have dropped it. The error probability was very high there. 7-3. Anthony is digging this out. Again, he looks like he's struggling, but he's staying with it. He's staying with all the rallies very well. Not with that one. That's a lovely drop.
4-7.
4-7. Very much advantage Anthony, though. 4-7. David again is just gathering himself. It's a very good pickup from Anthony, from very close to the back wall. That's a very punishing rally.
No, 5-7. No, 5-7.
The referee, he's saying he would have got to the ball if he hadn't been hit in the head, which is an interesting argument, but his head shouldn't have been there. Is what the referee obviously thinks. I can see Brian Williams sitting beside Declan McTevitt concurring. No, I think it was exactly the right decision. He would have got to it if he hadn't been hit in the head, but if he hadn't been standing there in the line of David's strike, it wouldn't have happened. So, sport can be cruel sometimes, as we all know. Oh, David was unlucky there. It was a small boast. 8-5. And David's getting his encouragement from the audience. He sets himself and gets ready. Plays a good length. Another good length. That's a very good shot. Yeah, very aggressive. But Anthony's handling him very well. Well recovered, David. That's a great shot. That's a super shot. A very punishing rally on both players.
And
again, if you look, David is slow, gathering himself, rubbing the ball, taking time. And personally, after such a punishing rally, I'd be more inclined to increase the pace and serve quickly and not give Anthony time, because he's the one who was doing all the work there in that rally. Oh, he missed it. It's very much on a balance now. 7-8. This is when you need nerves of steel. You're tired. You're struggling for wind. Oh, it's a great shot from David. A super shot. Michael Conway there. Very appreciative of it, as he's a right to be. So 9-all. 2-all, 9-all. Whoever wins 2 points in a row, or 2 clear points ahead, will win this game now. Oh, that's a lovely shot from Anthony. That
9-8.
backhand kill shot has worked for him right through the match. And David's head rolled up to the sky, saying, "Poor me, why did I let that happen?" So it's match ball. Oh, a lovely post to win the match.
Match
Oh,
ball.
no. Oh, I thought it was 9-all. It's 10-8. I've got it wrong. Sorry. My apologies. It's 10-8. Match ball.
Yeah. 10-8.
David, don't argue. Just get on with it.
10-8. Play. I think he thought he might have played. He hit you with the hit ball. 10-8.
He's looking for an explanation for the experience. So 10-8. I don't know where I got why I thought it was 9-all. Yes, game to Anthony. Well played. A good game played in a very good spirit
3 games.
by 2 very evenly matched players who actually are quite different in style. So, that was very enjoyable. It probably went on for about 1 hour, 15, 20 minutes. A very long struggle. I can see David Cassidy is very disappointed with himself. But the thing about sport is you have to learn to take the defeats with the victories.